And how do you see the CBO playing a role in this? We just had a vote, a victory, or a vote yes, I should say, for CBO. And I know that you're part of Ready, and so you're part of that, of the group that, you know, of the thought mindset that CBO should be part of the city.
I
so
think
what are
so.
your thoughts?
You know, the community benefits ordinance, I am more familiar with community benefit agreements because I worked in Detroit for a number of years, and that's one of the things we brought to the table in terms of when development comes into the area, that there would be a commitment from the developers in investing in that community. One, in terms of jobs, but two, in terms of resources, that there were things that citizens in that particular neighborhood may need or want, that the developer could help bring those resources to bear. I think that this group, the Ready organization, Ready Coalition actually, that sprung out in Ypsilanti is a group of young people and others who really saw the vision of a CBO. I sat in the initial meetings with them, and they not only were hungry for that information, but had a desire to bring that to fruition because they want to see equity in our community. But to give you some history on that, when I served on city council, there were several projects that came. Parkridge Homes was one, and before we knew it, when the contracts were awarded, we were informed that there were no local contractors on that site, that no one from the city of Ypsilanti, and we have many contractors who were eligible, none were chosen for the site. And it became a concern because one, if you're doing development at that level, at that price point, you want to make sure that everybody in the community who's eligible to apply for that would have access to making money as well, because people who live in the community, work in the community, would be able to spend money in our community. And so that was a level of disappointment that council shared together, and we talked to Mr. Barr, the city attorney, and actually it was a meeting at Eastern that we were, the contractor from the Ypsilanti Housing Commission came in, actually the executive director came in and talked with us, and we were questioning him about the fact, you know, why weren't there any local contractors? And he basically shared with us that they didn't know who the contractors were, that the ones they did know were not really eligible for the job, again, which was a disappointment. So I think from there, we decided that, you know, the next time that there's a development, we need to put it in concrete, that there will be local contractors available and accessible and appointed to that development. But what happened, we met with the city attorneys, and there were several young people at the meeting that said, this really needs to be a coalition effort. And we talked with REROC, and actually Tad Weiser, who serves as our kind of lead organizer with REROC, was very excited about that opportunity and met with them and decided that it wasn't something that REROC could take on, but could help foster a new coalition that would take on that work. And so Tad and the REROC group actually fostered the development of Ready, hosted some of the first initial meetings, and that work has just been, it's been awesome in the sense that those young people stuck with it for over a year. They met with city council, they met with citizens, they held town hall meetings, and just really rolled out what it was they were hoping to gain from that. And not them as individuals, but for us as a community. So it was really a community effort in terms of those young people stepped to the plate and worked on behalf of the citizens of Ypsilanti to pull that, bring that to fruition. And I think that there was some struggle, some push and tug, just to get it approved, because there's always that concern that if you're giving something to citizens, and it's not really a give because the citizens pay taxes and the citizens really should have a greater voice in what happens in terms of their neighborhood, what's developed. But I think there's always that concern, at least on the council table, that if we bring developers to the table, are they going to be scared off if they see citizens have a voice or citizens are making demands? And we need to get past that, because I think we're living in a different age. And for me, the CBO is really, as I've said to people, it's a new generation policy, which means for me, in 2008, when President Obama ran, the promise to me personally in that campaign that I took on personally was that we are living in a different day and time. And what worked for my generation and for previous generations served us well to some degree, but this is a new day. And we need new policies, a new generation of policies to carry us through the next few decades. And I think that the CBO does that, and it does it for this community. I wasn't aware, however, that we're only the second community in the nation, I believe, to have a CBO. So that too is exciting. One of the things Pete Murdoch said to me when I served on council was that we used to be cutting edge, that the city of Ypsilanti used to be on the forefront of things. And I think for me as well as for Pete Murdoch, I think that the CBO puts us in position again to be on the cutting edge.